welcome to Inspiration with Jaclynn. In case you didn't know, I'm Jaclynn. I always say that corny line in the beginning. Probably need to stop that. So, today, as I hit the camera, I am drinking some iced coffee, actually, because it's been warm out, and anyway, just want to enjoy some iced coffee. So, sit down, relax, enjoy. I'm going to drink this, and because I have something in my throat, and every time I talk it gets dry, so I apologize. So today's going to be a little bit different. I have had a few people, just a few, that have messaged me on Facebook Messenger about what kind of diet am I on. So I thought I would take 6 questions out of like the 15 I have, and maybe I'll try and work on those, but to keep it kind of short, we're going to do the 6 questions, and I'm going to go ahead and answer them here because it's a little easier for me to talk about it rather than type it all out and send it to people. I know it sounds really lazy of me, but truly it's a lot faster to get in a video. So anyway, bear with me. First off, I want to start out by saying I am not a medical professional. So whenever I am going through these questions and what I'm doing, please understand, always consult your doctor first, or your nutritionist, or whoever you go to. Do not necessarily base it, on what I say. If I reference something, I'll let you know where I've got that from or whatever, but please understand, I want to clarify one more time, I am not a medical professional. I am not trained in dieting. I'm just going through this experience and sharing it with you guys and answering questions. So wanted to say that. I also, another note, what works for me may not work for you. I have a couple of health issues to where I have to eat certain things. I have to go on a certain diet. So understand that it may be working for me, but it may not work for you. And if it does work for you and you try it, then great. There's nothing too special about it. So as you'll see when we answer the questions. So anyway, let's get started. Just want to go ahead and lay that all out there. Always consult your doctor first. Do not take Jaclynn's, advice before you do anything, because I don't know your personal situation. So moving on. How do you get through, number one, and this is the number one question I get all the time, so I'm going to try and explain this as much as I can. How do you get through your cravings of sweets or anything that you can't have on your diet? That's a tough one. And everybody handles it differently. And there are days, I want to clarify, there are days where I fail and I fall into temptation, and it is what it is because I'm human. As strict as I'm being, I slip up. So anyway, I'm going to explain kind of what I do to kind of help that, curb those cravings and everything. I will at times attempt to distract myself by playing like a board game or a card game with my son. Maybe go outside, read a book, do something that I enjoy doing just to kind of get my mind off of whatever it is. A lot of times I crave like certain kinds of burgers, and that's usually a really big temptation for me. And and I don't really like sweets that much, but sometimes I crave chocolate. So I have to get myself distracted. So there's that. For distraction is one way. Also, as long as I have enough calories left, because usually my snacking time is like in the evening, as long as I have enough calories left, I go ahead and I have a little sweet. So one of the things that I use, and as I said, what works for you, what works for me could be totally different, but something that I'm allowed to have, or I'll cut up celery. I'll get like 2 things of celery and I'll just chop them up and have like 4 pieces of celery or whatever, and put just a little bit of peanut butter on it, and you can have like a tablespoon of dark chocolate chips, because those are actually good for you for like your A1C count or whatever. A nutritionist had told me that. I can't give you the exact name, so I'm sorry I can't reference that, but you can do your research and you'll find it, which is pretty common. A lot of people know that. So I'll put like raisins, and then I'll put like a chocolate chip on each one, and I'll measure it out just perfectly, and it's just sweet enough to where it really just kind of curbs that. So I already know at the beginning of the day, at night, we sit down, we relax, we're watching TV, I'm gonna want a snack. So I make sure I kind of bank those calories so that way I can have it, which it's really not that many calories, and as long as you measure correctly. So there's always kind of a way where you can still have a treat just as long as you have the calories for it. And so it just depends on what diet you're on as well, though. And just keep that in mind. So a big thing is planning. As I said, I kind of plan for those calories. So therefore, throughout the day, I eat a little bit differently. I'm like, okay, I know I'm going to have this, so I'm not going to eat nearly as much for dinner, so I can have this for my snack tonight. I usually just kind of know. Question number 2. Do you deprive yourself of the foods you love the most? No, not entirely. I don't know where that no came from, but not entirely. I am extremely cautious of my calorie intake. I record everything, so I try to prepare for the things that I may want. Or if I know that we're going out to eat, I have to look up all the calories and see what I can actually get that will, even if it's just like if I want a burger, if only I can eat half of it, that's what I do. I don't deprive myself completely. I feel like if you deprive yourself completely, it's my personal opinion, I feel like you're more likely to fall off the horse, and that's in my experience. So I try not to deprive myself completely. So I try to have things that I still enjoy, but just smaller amounts of, or I just had to pre-plan my calories. And guess what? That's not always the case. There's days where I slip up. I overate at Mexican the other night, and I overate. And I went over my calories. It's not always perfect. I don't have perfect, I don't always have perfect days. Some days are great, and then there's a day where I'm just like, you know what, I'm just going to eat this. I'm not saying it's right, but we're human, and it happens. So, and then there's some foods that I can replace of what I want, but that takes a lot of, that kind of takes more time and research to kind of figure that stuff out. So I'm not as good at that yet, but I don't deprive myself completely. If I want a burger, I'll eat half of a small burger or something, just to have that taste and just not to completely deprive myself. Number 3, what diet are you on, and do you follow a plan? Okay, so my doctor put me on a 1,600 calorie diet and didn't really give me a plan. So what I've done is I've done tons of research on good foods that you can eat for if you have high blood sugar or high insulin. I research a lot for 1,600 calorie diets. I research a lot. And I just I look up meals that I can possibly make and prepare, and I do it that way. I do a lot of online research, and I read what doctors have to say and everything. I go by the food groups, kind of do it the old-fashioned way, kind of go with the food groups and kind of go from there. So, excuse me. And then what I do is I make up a meal plan for each week, or for sometimes a week is I'm not a good planner when it comes to meals, so I might plan for like 3 days, so that way I know what I'm having, I know what I have room for, and I stay on task a lot better. So if I have everything written down as to what I want, I seem to stay on task, and I automatically know what calories I'm having. I know what I can have later that day if I want a snack or sweets or whatever. So when I plan my own meals, that's my personal goal, is to be able to plan my meals and execute them correctly and follow them. So I was not given a plan except for a 1,600 calorie diet. It will get more specific, I'm sure, as we kind of roll and kind of see how I do and things like that. But for now, that's what I'm on. And it's easier for me to count calories, believe it or not, than it is a whole bunch of other things, because I get confused with the low carb stuff and everything, even though I think that stuff is great too. So, number 4. Do you record everything you eat? Yes, I do. I use my Fitness Pal on my phone, and the number one reason is I want to keep track of my calories, of course. That's like the number one reason. I want to keep track of my calories. And number two should probably be my number one reason, because I feel like it's way more important. If if myself or the doctor aren't seeing results or improvements in things, like whether it's my blood work or my, my weight loss or whatever it may be, or if I'm feeling kind of crappy, I'm not having good days and things like that, I can show her everything I've had the last, however long, for a few weeks, and she can kind of help me tweak things, or if I need to remove certain things from my diet. There might be something on there that I shouldn't be having that I thought was okay to have. And it's a really good tool to be able to take that in and show her, okay, this is what I'm eating, this is my calorie intake, what am I doing wrong? So if I'm doing something wrong, or if the blood work's coming back weird, let's evaluate. Let's take a look at it. And that is extremely helpful for me, because my doctor's office is wonderful. They also have a nutritionist or a dietitian there who can also help me, and we can sit down together and evaluate kind of a better plan on how to tweak things. I've already found that recording, whenever I look back, I'm missing some things that I should be adding to my diet, so that really helps to go back and look and, be like, okay, I'm missing this, I probably should add that. Another reason is I also like to remember certain meals that I've had, and I have really horrible memory when it comes to this, so I like to look back and kind of look at my previous recipes, at what I've made, and see how many calories it is, and it's saved into my FitnessPal, and I can go back and be like, okay, I can have that. That's a dinner idea. Because some weeks I'm sitting there grocery shopping and I'm like, I have no idea what to get. No idea. Didn't prepare. Like, no idea. So I just go back and I look at what I liked. And I make notes at the end of the day sometimes, so that way I know, like, what was my favorite and stuff like that. So it kind of helps. Number 5, do you exercise? Right now my exercise is limited. I can only walk short distances due to an injury in my leg, which has also kind of made my other leg from my back surgery kind of go down a little bit. So I have a hard time keeping balance, so I have to walk short distances, but I am starting to walk shorter distances and continue to build up. So I'm working on that. I also do, when I remember to do them, I have stationary pedals. When I remember to do them, I do them. I also have kind of my own little homestead, so I have chickens and everything, so when I'm walking up and down the hill, that kind of strengthens my legs. So I am doing some sort of exercise. I definitely recommend exercise, because I feel like it helps your mind, body, and soul, but always start out slow. And just because I have even if I didn't have an injury, I would start out slow. It would be like I'd start walking 5 minutes, and then coming back, because that's a lot on your body, especially depending on your weight. It's also something that you have to talk to your doctor about. That is something that I've talked about, what should I do in short distances is kind of what I do. So I do stretches. I do kind of do some my own physical therapy, especially with this quarantine going on, not being able to go to physical therapy. I kind of do my own with my legs, so I do that, and that helps me as long as I'm moving. That's better than just sitting down and watching TV all day. So I am moving, I am doing things, I'm just not hardcore exercising. So I'm trying to keep this short. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm talking for forever. Number 6, last one. Is this hard on you to stay motivated? Yes. Yes. Every day is a struggle. Not every day is perfect, but I'm continuing on. I mean, it is an everyday struggle. It's hard when I'm making, the other day I made my family hamburger helper, and I made myself just ground turkey with peppers and onions, and which I loved, but I would much rather have the hamburger helper. It looks so good, it had all this cheese and everything, and sometimes that's hard, and sometimes they eat what I eat, but a lot of times it's just a little easier if I make separate meals, because I don't really know how much they're going to eat and if they're going to get full. So anyway, it is a struggle. I miss going to any fast food restaurant and getting whatever I wanted. It's convenience, and because I'm always driving around doing things, and so I miss being able to just get whatever I want. Now I have to literally pack a sandwich or whatever that fits my diet needs. So yes, it's a struggle. Staying motivated, I just keep on thinking of my health. I just keep on thinking of my health and my child and my family. My family and friends need me around, and I just got to keep going. There's no better reason than my family and friends. And so anyway, hope this was helpful. Hopefully I answered quite a few questions. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you. If you like the video, please press like, press subscribe, so you can get notified for when the next video comes out. Share it on your social media. You know, maybe somebody needs, you never know who needs to hear these things. That's why I'm doing this. I have no ulterior motives except to spread positivity and help people love themselves more and get through this journey together. So while I'm on the journey of losing weight and learning to love myself, I hope you guys will all stay with me and hang with me. As always, stay positive, encourage one another, and of course, make this day amazing. I don't care how it started out to be, make it amazing. Smile, compliment somebody, and do something nice for somebody. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you guys next time. Have a great day.